We have apps. We had apps in today's show.
Have we ever had apps before?
I don't think we've ever had apps on the show.
Well, we're going to have to see what that's all about.
We got apps. But we also have a bunch of other spring sports to cover. Now let's get right into it. And let's talk a little bit of some men's lacrosse. After a crushing defeat by the Bryant Bulldogs a few days before, the Colonials focused on their next NEC opponent, the Hobart Statesmen. Let's see if the Colonials can stay in contention for that top seed as we head to Geneva, New York. First quarter, Tyson Gibson finds the back of the net for his 11th goal of the season. 1-0 Colonials. And Hobart was chirping each other, but then Tyson Gibson makes it 2-0. Now it's 3-0 Robert Morris. And they're just early on pounding it on. Second quarter, Hobart finally gets on the board. Sam, it looks like it was going to be a runaway game for the Colonials, but no.
Hold it.
And the Colonials make it 6-2. We're going to go from the second quarter, still in the second quarter. Hobart now 6-3. Chipping away, and then chipping some more. Right there, powerful goal past Alex Hager. It is 6-4. So we're just going to, right to overtime, the juicy stuff. Matt Schmidt right here sends the Colonials home happy. The 10-9 overtime victory. Beautiful shot as you see his teammates come on for the celebration. The Colonials got out of Geneva, New York with the 10-9 overtime victory. Tyson Gibson, 2 goals, 2 assists. Ryan Smith, 2 goals, 1 assist. And Adrian Torg-Orban, 3 names we see pretty currently. 3 goals and 5 shots. Now we have to see if the Colonials could keep things rolling when they headed to Canisius. Sam, I heard you got his information on that game.
That's right, Ian. And 100 games, that's a number I want everyone to remember. 100 games for RMU lacrosse head coach Andrew McMinn, a program that's seen its highest ever national ranking, players receiving national attention as some of the best in all of the United States, and the anticipation of a team that looks to make their first ever NCAA tournament. The 7-3 Colonials head to Buffalo, New York for McMinn's 100th game, looking to rekindle RMU's winning ways against the Golden Griffins. Starting off for the Colonials is, it looks like we're getting some women's lacrosse here. And we're going to see here, Madison Griffin sends it in for the Lady Colonials here of women's lacrosse. She tied her career high in points on the day, and from there, Robert Morris would run away with this one. It just seemed like Mount St. Mary's never quite had it. Robert Morris would end up outscoring them 9-2 in the second half, and you see that clock ticking faster. All right, and back to Robert Morris University women's lacrosse rolled to a 14-4 victory over Mount St. Mary's. Dana Davis collected 2 ground balls, eclipsing the program's all-time mark of 171 set by Colleen O'Donnell in 2012, totaling 173 for her career. The 4 goals allowed by RMU is the lowest total since April 26th of 2015.
It was finally conference play time for the women's lacrosse team after 10 straight non-conference games against some top teams, including California, Louisville, and Ohio State. Could the experience of playing the big-name schools help the Colonials prepare for NEC opponents? Well, Wagner, this past Friday at Joe Walton Stadium, was their first opportunity. So we head to the Joe, and the Colonials fell behind early. Wagner's on him early. The Colonials fight back. Kelly Flynn had multiple chances at the goal. We are having some technical difficulties with the highlights right now, but Wagner would eventually take a 5-1 lead. And here we have the highlights.
We knew it was coming. It was coming.
So I'll step back a little bit in here. We're going to hear from Shannon Lynch a little tease a little later in the show, but she fights her way through traffic. It's like going to a detour in Pittsburgh. You got to find any way to get to your destination. Our destination was the goal. And it is 1-1 as here again, 5-1. And Kelly Flynn with the easy twirling. And she beats the Wagner defender. It is 5-2. And then we take another look at it. I like the strategy. Beautiful goal. still 5-2, and the Colonials battling their way back. It's 5-3, and another easy peasy lemon squeezy goal with no goalie there, no goaltender. And the Colonials were down 12-6, now 12-7. The Colonials added 2 more goals, but the Colonials fell after a tough battle at the Joe. The Colonials could not earn their first conference win. Dana Davis and Kelly Flynn scored 2 goals apiece, but it wasn't enough. Marjorie Dem and Lauren Adui led the Seahawks offense with 3 goals each. Caitlin Miller was given the loss for RMU as she gave up all 12 Wagner goals. The Colonials would be on the field 2 days later. We saw that they took down Mount St. Mary's 14-4. But now, the softball team is very Mother Nature, not in their favor, but they would eventually get into conference play after postpone it, after postpone it, after postpone it, and after what seemed like 100 postponed games, Robert Morris softball was finally able to get back to conference play this past Friday. Even this game almost didn't happen against Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg, Maryland, as the game was moved from Sunday to Friday 2 days earlier. It's been a crazy past few weeks for the softball team, and would they make a win in their first conference game?
It's the April showers, Dean. It's the April showers. That's what it is.
Bring May flowers. You better have a lot of flowers. It took a while for the Colonials to get back on the field after their 5-0 shutout against Penn State on March 28th. And start a 2-game winning streak with a 5-2 victory over the Mount. Starting pitcher Caitlin Elsie for the Colonials earned the win, improving to 4-5 on the season. Robert Morris used a 3-run first inning and never looked back. Natalie Higgins led RMU's hitters with 3 RBIs. Could it be 3 straight wins for the Colonials when they entered the second game of that doubleheader in Emmitsburg, Maryland?
And not only would it be 3 straight, Ian, but RMU was looking to bring out the brooms as they headed to their second game against the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. And it would be Caitlin Elsie once again on the mound to take on the Mount one last time. RMU was on the board in the very first inning, but it would be all the Colonials could muster in their 3-1 defeat. Natalie Higgins brought in the lone run for the Colonials as she compiled a team-high 4 RBIs on the weekend. Robert Morris would drop to 1-1 in conference play.
The softball team was finally able to play a home game this week when they battled the St. Bonaventure Bonnies at the North Athletic Complex, of course in doubleheader action, as is mostly every softball contest. The sun was shining, the temperatures weren't actually freezing in April in Pittsburgh, and now the weather was in favor at home for the first time this season, and the Colonials cashed in with 2 victories on home turf. In the first game, sophomore Madison Riggle earned the win, her 4th of the season, and junior Lauren Coulter picked up the save in RMU 7-6 victory. The Colonials combined for 9 hits, and Abrielle McCartney and Caitlin Eisenberg led the way with 2 RBIs each. In Game 2, the Colonials only needed 6 innings to earn the 10-2 win. Robert Morris scored 4 runs in the 3rd inning and didn't look back, a theme that we've seen. Lauren Coulter moved to 2-6 as she received the win in the complete game performance.
When we come back to Colonial Sports Center, we have golf action, and there's an app. Ian, there's an app? What's that about?
We got apps, but you're going to want to stay tuned. I don't want to give it away yet.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Robert Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Colonial Sports Center is back, and Sam, do you know what I like about spring sports season? All the games are played outside. Even though softball's kind of a pain in the butt playing outside, but the Masters just ended, so I think it is an appropriate time to talk about Robert Morris Golf. The team traveled to Gainesville, Maryland for the Townsend Spring Invitational this past weekend. And after 2 days of golf, RMU finished 10th out of 17 total scores. The Colonials finished with a score of 633 after they posted a 326 plus 19 in the final day of competition. St. Bonaventure was the overall best team with a score of 603. Individually, Max Palmer finished 6th after posting a tournament score of 150, good enough for a +6 for the tournament. The Colonials have only one more tournament to go before in the Wright State Invitational this weekend before the NEC Championships, the big one, slated for April 27th through April 29th.
Golfers David Szymanski and Brett Pompiani are more than just teammates on the Robert Morris golf team. Their conversations at the driving range have turned into a business venture that they hope will change the way people go out to the bars with their brand new app. Their humble beginnings look to spur into something truly revolutionary.
Brett Pompiani and David Szymanski have been teammates on the RMU golf team for the past 3 years. The duo is now taking a swing at changing the bar industry with their app, Bar Hop.
Right, so we initially talked about that while we were at a bar, to be honest, and we were just having trouble getting a drink, and I just said, this process, there's no way this will continue to be like this in 5 years, so why can't we just change the process ourselves? So we started, brainstorming a little bit, and eventually the idea for Bar Hop was formed.
Yeah, Bar Hop is an app that allows customers in bars to have mobile payment. So when someone goes into a bar, they can open up the app and they have the ability to select their drink, entering a payment method, and then display it to the bartender and get their drink. So it eliminates the time that the bartender would have to spend going to the point of sale system.
Basically, all the development is done. We've launched 2 nights at Buford's Kitchen downtown across from PPG, and now 2 nights at Jailhouse, which is in Coraopolis. So we're starting to really understand how well the concept works and getting great feedback from a lot of different people.
With the app now developed, the duo have a few goals in mind.
Yeah, so right now we're trying to perfect the concept at just one location. We want to make it work seamlessly for the bar. We want to develop a recurring customer base. And then from there we see the opportunity to scale, to go across the city of Pittsburgh, to get down to Southside in the most busy bars. But we really have to prove the concept to work perfectly for the bar at just one location. And then beyond that, we ultimately do want to try to create our own point of sale system that would allow mobile payments, but we'll always be able to provide mobile payment to bars outside of their current point of sale system.
One thing that Pompiani and Szymanski definitely have going for them is the support of their teammates.
Yeah, it's been great. Some of them come out on on the nights that we got and we don't have practice the next day. And then the ones that aren't 21 are still promoting the product to their friends, telling them about it. They follow it on social media and they keep up with their story, and they've been extremely supportive, and they've been some of our best customers.
Szymanski feels that golf is effective in more than one way.
They always say that playing golf will do well in the business world. And when we go out for practice, right, we're out there for 4 hours. and we're constantly talking about ideas, and this is our 3rd year together on the team. So the past years we've always talked about ideas, and now we get to talk about a product, and we always wanted to start our own business, and now that we finally have those rounds of golf are very enjoyable.
One distinct characteristic of the Bar Hop team is the way Brett and David use their individual skills to form a cohesive unit.
I did all the development myself. Definitely more of the technical guy, and David's more of the business end.
Yeah, I've handled like our business plan, our marketing strategies, like our communication with bar owners, and have sought out like many of the people that are on our advisory board. So I've handled more of the business end while Brett did the programming.
From the golf course to the business world, these two hard workers will continue chasing their dream. This has been Logan Carney reporting for RMU Century Media.
Thank you, Logan, and you can follow all the updates with Mr. Szymanski and Mr. Pompiani's brand new app at Bar Hop app on Twitter. A lot of things going on there, but Ian, we got more going on women's lacrosse right now.
So we saw the women's lacrosse team in action earlier in the show, but now we will get an in-depth conversation with junior Pittsburgh native Shannon Lynch, who sat down with correspondent Nick Hederick.
Shannon Lynch is a crucial member of the Robert Morris women's lacrosse team. The Albany transfer explains her decision to come here and how she hopes to be a leader on the team.
Well, when I left Albany, I was really just looking for a spot to be close to home again, being from Shaler, and I still wanted to play all year round, so I was looking 2 to 3 hours, D1 or D2, and I already knew the coaches at RMU, so I felt like it would be a nice place to go for my sophomore year. Yeah, that would be the goal. I definitely enjoy being a leader on the field because it's when people are down, when they really need the leadership to push them, to motivate them, to realize what they have left on the field to win.
Lynch also loves football and even tried to play football in high school. She has not given up on her dream of playing and wants to see women be given a fair opportunity to play the sport.
So I've always been interested in all sports, and I guess like whenever you don't have an opportunity to play a sport, it's like I don't know if I would have failed, I don't know if I would have succeeded. But then I did commit to Albany, so I didn't want to get injured playing another sport. Yeah, I definitely think the opportunity should be up to the women themselves because you don't know what they have to offer, you don't know how they see sports. No, I guess, like I said, it might be one of those reasons, like I've never had the opportunity to do it, or I don't know, I just always enjoyed playing it, so I guess like the hype to be able to go out and play is definitely building. Yeah, I would definitely say all sports relate in some sense, so I think wanting to play other sports definitely helps your athletic ability on other sport fields.
Lynch also has aspirations to one day coach football and has worked with several high school teams in the area.
Yeah, I definitely would. I think it's more interesting, I guess, also being a female, so I think it's more of a, I guess, like, to prove myself.
Shannon also believes that men's and women's lacrosse should be equally as physical.
I do agree. I think they should definitely be the same. I don't see why you're holding back anything from women.
Lynch has worked with the Steelers and will intern with the Portland Trail Blazers this summer. She thinks women should get more chances to work in the field of sports.
I have been networking in the sport management world, so I work for the Steelers right now, and then I was gotten in contact with some high schools around here, so some of the coaches have been willing to let me volunteer and do stuff like that. Sometimes I definitely do think it is harder just because whenever girls want to say like they're lifting heavy boxes or stuff, they'll tell us like not to do that stuff, and it's like, well, if I can do it, why won't you let me?
For RMU Century Media, this is Nick Hederick.
When we come back to Colonial Sports Center, could there be a new quarterback in Moon Township?
It's an interesting story.
We're going to have to see coming up as there's a new face in Moon Township, and we're going to see what that means for Robert Morris and all of Robert Morris football as that new season approaches with a brand new head coach. All when we come back on Colonial Sports Center.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe. but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Ah, Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center, and we have a brand new coach at Robert Morris University, and now we can have a brand new quarterback, as there's some new faces in spring ball, one of them being Louisiana State transfer Caleb Lewis. For a team seeking a fresh start and a brand new look, Lewis hopes to be part of the change happening at Joe Walton Stadium.
For any athlete, transferring to a new school and a new state can be a hard thing to do. But luckily for newly acquired quarterback Caleb Lewis, he had a familiar face in Coach Clark to help him in his transfer.
Well, I learned about RMU through the coaches. They recruited me while they were at Albany, and then when they came here, they expressed interest. When I announced my transfer, me and Coach Clark have a really good relationship that goes back to high school with me, and there was also a kid that played quarterback here that my dad coached against, and I watched play when I was younger. He played at like a crosstown rival high school, so I kind of had a knowledge of where it was, the area, and so forth, but mainly the coaches. Like I said, he did like my in-home visit back in my senior year. He's known me since my junior year of high school. He's from a really close area that I went to high school from, you know, right down the road. So yeah, I've known him for a while.
Lewis said the transition from LSU to RMU has been an interesting ride due to weather purposes and not playing as much, but is enjoying his new experience.
Transition's been interesting, you know, like I said, getting used to the cold, the weather, and trying to perform in that kind of took me a little longer than I thought. Knocking off some of the rust of not really playing for the last couple years. You know, it's been interesting, but the guys have been awesome and accepted me and embracing me and you know, putting in the work together. So I've enjoyed it. You know, it's been a new experience and it's been a good experience. And I'm excited, you know, the direction we're headed.
When coming to a new team, there might be some adjustments that need to be made. But Caleb says football is football and you learn from what you're coached. But he said the passing and offense will be a minor adjustment.
So there's a lot of, like I said, it's still football, so a lot of things are just doing what you're coached to do and executing. I think offensively, a little bit different scheme in the passing game. Kind of went from like an area read to a full field progression read scheme.
Caleb brings leadership, a strong work ethic to reach goals, and a passion for the game.
I'm a very intellectual quarterback. I feel like I make very good decisions. I take care of the ball. I also pride myself on being a leader, of creating a culture of very, very high level and tremendously high goals and the work ethic to prepare to reach those goals.
Caleb and the Colonials are eager to win the NEC and make playoffs, but Coach Clark stresses to take it one game at a time.
Our expectations for the year, I mean, we're not shy about it. We want to win the NEC. We want to get to the playoffs and then and win some games in the playoffs. I mean, that's the reason you play the game. But one thing that, you know, Coach Clark harps on is that you got to take it one day at a time, one play at a time, one game at a time.
Caleb says he's looking forward to winning with this team during his time at RMU.
I'm excited to win. I'm excited to win with these guys. I'm really enjoying the team that we have and the guys that are here, and which is usually probably the biggest issue when a transfer comes in, of whether he's going to fit in with the team or not. And they've, been so welcoming and just embraced me, and we're having a great time.
And if Caleb Lewis earns the start for opening day for the Colonials, he would be the 6th starting quarterback for RMU in the past 3 seasons. Ian, it looks like there's just not even a face of this team yet.
Being here 4 seasons, I can't keep track of how many. I don't even know who was freshman year. I think Derek Abbott. If that's a name that you remember, maybe. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he maybe takes over and beats out Jimmy Walker.
Some excitement here for the new season. New face at head coach, new face at quarterback potentially. Lots of exciting things coming your way.
But we also got exciting things coming your way when we come back for upcoming games.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
We are back at the Colonial Sports Center. Last episode of the season winding down. Time to take a look at the schedule ahead for Colonials athletics.
What do we got, Ian?
The near end of the semester. Friday, April 13th, women's lacrosse at St. Francis University at 4 p.m. Saturday. April 14th, softball, doubleheader at LIU Brooklyn. You got rowing, track, men's lacrosse. Every spring sport is playing in some capacity.
And we've seen the week that's coming up ahead, and now we're going to take a look at the week that was in Robert Morris sports and all the excitement that ensued. And now we saw the week that was, but as much as this show's ending, it's on a somber note, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the last show for our beloved Ian Kist. The last time you're going to see this sweater vest grace the airwaves of Robert Morris University. So in honor of the famous vest that's brought us so many memories. We're going to forever enshrine it here in the Robert Morris TV Studios by retiring Ian Kiss sweater vest. To the ceremony, please. I've regained myself, and
that was
let
incredible.
Ian finish it up here. Send us out.
Thank you for that tribute. Hopefully I come back maybe in 20 years. That's still up there. Hopefully, probably not.
We'll make it
hopefully,
happen.
I hope next year they come in. Like, what is that? And so whoever does weather over there, and RMU Live will always have a sweater vest on top of them. So that's cool. But I just want to say it's been a ride. It's been a great 4 years of being a part of Colonial Sports Center. I've been in a role of some capacity the past 4 years here at Robert Morris University. And for me, for one last time, this has been Colonial Sports Center.